everybody, it's Christine. It's time for Scraplift Crafternoon. You may be hearing a cold in my voice. That's because I do record these kind of early and I'm still struggling to get over a cold that I've had, so my apologies. This layout is by Melanie Hyatt, and I believe Miss Karen found this one, and I'm going to get close here. So what she has, it's really cute. It looks like it's a little Halloween layout, maybe with a little baby. And she has a lot of mixed media going on back here, like a maybe smushy technique, and then maybe, actually it looks like a couple of different stamps and stencils and stuff. Basically 3 embellishment clusters with the title over here on white cardstock. Now here's what I'm going to do. Because I have these 2 pictures, this is my little scrappy friend Evelyn, and there's a story behind this, and I may write it on the back or something. But this is basically, I had gotten recognized. A lady had come up. It was honestly before I had even 1,000 subscribers. But for whatever reason, this other lady happened to follow me. And I did a scrapbook page about her a while back. But anyway, she followed me. Well, they teased me the next day. They made me a little sign that said YouTube influencer. It was just cute. She's just her personality. She's kind of sassy. So I thought I'd do a layout with these 2 pictures. And so I'm going to do it like this. This is a whole bunch of little scrappy collections. I think this is an exclusive from Stamp and Scrapbook Expo, but I do happen to have Echo Park. I'd rather be crafting, and then I also have photo plays. You had me at paper, and I don't really know which like stickers and what I'm going to use yet. So those are the ones I kind of all have them together because it's all scrapbooky stuff. But I really like this green background as opposed to the white, mostly because I need to use these papers. But I do like this background. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount the photos in like these patterns here, so they'll be on there. And then I'm going to I pulled out this metallic gilding polish, metallic gilding polish. But I've also, for the smishing, I think I'm going to use this wild honey. I'm hopeful that that's going to show. I don't really know. I've never used it. So we'll see what happens. Mixed media and me are sometimes friends and sometimes not friends. So I'm going to do like the smishing stuff here, and I'm going to use this. It will have to dry, so I'll go ahead and mat these. So I'll do all that stuff, and then I'll come back on. For you, it'll be a few seconds. For me, it's probably going to be just a little bit because it will need to dry. And then I'm going to use like stickers and stuff as my embellishment clusters. So, and I even have a little bit of ephemera over here somewhere too, but I'll show you guys that. All right, I'll come back on soon. All right, gang. So what I've done so far is I have mounted my photographs on those 2 pieces of paper I showed you. I do love a little diagonal strap on mats, so that looks kind of neat. I've got my little yellow ink here, and I'm making my packaging technique, and I'm actually really pleased with how this turns out. I was a little bit worried, if the yellow was going to show up, but it does. It shows up pretty good, and I'm able to build my little squishy stuff around. I get some on the edge over there, which kind of hurts my feelings, but I will trim that in a minute, because after I start putting my gilding paste on there, my paper kind of warps a little bit, so I trim that down anyway so I can mat it. So you'll see that in just a minute. I tried out a few sprinkles, and this little brush here, y'all, I was being a bit lazy. My other good brush was in the bathroom. I had rinsed it out from another project, and this one was just sitting there, and I'm trying to use it, but it's not floppy enough, so it didn't work too good. Y'all, if y'all hear a huge crash in just a minute, my cat is digging into something, and she's about to knock something off onto the floor, so we'll see what happens. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my gilding paste here. I've got my my packaging technique. My yellow looks pretty good. So now I'm going to use my little hexagon stencil here in my gilding paste. I really like this little gilding paste. I'm proud of myself because I've actually used quite a bit of it. I mean, it's not gone, but I probably used half of it. And for me, that's actually pretty darn good. I don't hardly ever get through mixed media stuff without it drying up on me, because I'm just I don't use it a lot anyways, although I have found in recent months, because of all the various challenges and scrap lifts and things like that, it's kind of forced me to use it. And I say that like forced is kind of a negative connotation, but it's not really. It's just making me get outside my comfort zone and do things. And as I mentioned in the beginning, sometimes mixed media is my friend and sometimes it's not. I usually just try to go with it, see what happens. In the end, I can usually make it work. I think I've only ever started over like once, maybe twice. Because honestly, the way mixed media works a lot of times is, it's not intended to look perfect. So it doesn't matter if it looks perfect. You just keep on going and see what happens. And that's my general philosophy on it. So this looks really pretty. I will have to cut away because it'll have to dry. It does make the paper warp, like I said, a little bit. So I will mat this as well. So I think in just a minute it's going to be when you're going to see me. Did I leave that in here? I do mat it on this paper that looks like pencils, and it's kind of like a little stripe. You can kind of see behind there. It's actually pencils, but it looks like a little stripe. So I've mounted it on there. I did trim that down by like a 1/4 inch. And then I did take my photos and I have mounted that on foam. So that's just the last little bit of me putting that foam behind those photographs. And I'm just putting it on top of my mixed media now. Now I'm going to use, I'm going to pull out the ephemera first. I'm kind of looking at the stickers, but I'm going to pull out this ephemera first. And I'm just going to kind of start building the clusters. And I'm going to cut away partway through this process because honestly, it's just me thinking and looking and auditioning things. I did decide I really like that wonderful as the title. It just looks good as it, I mean, it's not the same as the little baddie for you, obviously, but I thought it looked good as a title and it fits really good. Let me tell you real quickly. So Miss Evelyn here, I met her at my daughter's nutrition club, and she's just a real nice lady. She's got twin daughters. They're just beautiful. And she would come in all the time and just a real nice lady. So we kind of got to know each other. And then at some point scrapbooking came up and she's like, oh, you scrapbook? And so we realized, oh yeah, we each scrapbook. And so I started kind of glomming on to her and her sister and her friend. They go to the scrapbook conventions. I've always loved the scrapbook conventions, but frankly, I don't really have a lot of local scrappy friends. Most of the scrappy friends I have are virtual. So I say that's not 100% true. I have another friend who owns a retreat, but it's about an hour and a half away. So it's a little tricky for me to go to that kind of stuff. But anyway, so we kind of made friends, and I'd go with her and her group, and we sit at the tables and all that kind of stuff together. So that's how I ended up with that little sign on at the bottom down there. And they're just a fun group of ladies, and they always bring snacks, y'all. I'm never smart enough to bring snacks, and her friend always brings all these snacks. I feel kind of guilty taking them because she's always got chocolate too, y'all. It's good stuff. All right, so I've built all my clusters. You saw me tucking stuff in. I've got, at the top, I added a couple little tabs. I've got a little banner that says crop all night. There's a little tag. It says crafting friends forever, or some craft. Yeah, I think that's what it says. And so now I'm just kind of looking through the stickers, and I end up finding there's a little ATG gun up over the title now, which I think is adorable. I had a little ruler. Saturn, of course, had to jump up there, so I had to move her. I will start adding a few little flowers from the sticker sheet. I just kind of add those to, flesh it out. Obviously, she had little bats and things like that because it was, a little Halloween layout. So I'm just using the flowers kind of like those little bats, and you'll see me start pulling those off in just a second. I like that little hand with the heart. That was cute. Yeah, there's me adding the flowers. So I'm just going to start adding these little flowers behind stuff. I'll glue this. By the way, none of this is glued down except for the stickers are kind of stuck there, but I'll glue this down in just a minute. I'm not going to make you sit and watch me do that after I decide where everything's going to go. So yeah, I'm just kind of building out my flowers. I will end up going and grabbing in some enamel dots too in just a minute. But for the moment, I'm just kind of trying to use up some of these stickers. I should probably, there's a lot of sewing ones, and I don't actually sew. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that. Maybe if I ever get pictures of my mom sewing or something she sewed or something, I might can. But otherwise, I'm going to be a little bit of a pickle because I don't ever sew. Y'all know that. I don't even stitch on anything. Here's my little enamel dots. I went in my stash over there. I think it's from Sweater Weather at Hip Kit Club is what I think these colors are. Most of them worked. The blues were not the right shade, but everything else looked okay. So I'm just going to put 3 in each of my little clusters. I will tell you, the Scraplift, she actually had like a little word phrase or something at the bottom of her top picture, and I didn't notice that until after I was done with the layout. So I don't have that part, but I think it looks cute otherwise. And I'm just going to, like I said, kind of finalize these little dots here. This is a cute little layout, and this was in my little bowl of pictures, our little bowl of, I don't know if everybody has this, but everybody has like a little bowl on their desk, right, of stuff they have pulled out and not used yet or whatever. And I had these pictures printed, and they were in my little bowl, so I was kind of proud to use those up too. So that is all I'm going to do this layout, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Please make sure you check out the playlist and the original layout. And we will see you guys next Sunday, or unless you're watching, I have things usually Tuesday, Thursday, sometimes Saturday, sometimes Sunday, sometimes Friday. We'll never know. I usually try to premiere it so you can always see when it's coming. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.